Shocking revelations rock Port Charles. Jason's return with Britt triggers a web of secrets and lies. The halls of General Hospital are buzzing with whispers and gasps as one of the most unexpected returns in Port Charles history sends shockwaves through the community. Jason Morgan's successful rescue mission has brought Dr. Britt Westburn back from the dead, but her miraculous reappearance is about to unleash a cascade of devastating revelations that will tear families apart and destroy relationships built on lies. The moment Britt walks through those familiar hospital doors, the carefully constructed facades that several Port Charles residents have maintained are about to crumble in spectacular fashion. What should be a joyous reunion quickly transforms into a nightmare of exposed secrets, with young Rocco Falconeri at the center of a truth that will change his world forever. The return that changes everything. Jason's determination to bring Britt home safely from the dangerous Five Poppies resort in Croatia has succeeded, but not without consequences. As Britt steps back into the world she supposedly left behind, her presence immediately creates ripples that threaten to become tsunamis. The woman who was mourned as dead is very much alive, and her return couldn't come at a more complicated time for the Falconeri family. Dante and Lulu find themselves in an impossible position as they realize that Rocco has somehow discovered the truth about his biological origins, the secret they hoped to keep buried forever that Britt Westburn gave birth to their son. After stealing their embryo is now out in the open. The young boy who should be celebrating the return of someone who saved his friend Jocelyn's life, instead faces the confusing reality that this woman carried him in her womb. The timing couldn't be worse for the couple who had carefully crafted a narrative about their son's birth, hoping to shield him from the bizarre circumstances that brought him into the world. Now, with Britt standing before them alive and well, they must confront not only their son's questions, but also their own complicated feelings about the woman who both violated their trust and ultimately gave them their child. Jason's burden of knowledge. While most of Port Charles celebrates Britt's miraculous return, Jason Morgan carries the weight of knowledge that will soon devastate one of the most important people in his life. His rescue mission in Croatia exposed him to information about Jocelyn Jacks that he never wanted to learn, information that will force him to make one of the most difficult decisions of his life. Jason has discovered that Jocelyn has been working as a WSB agent, recruited by none other than Jack Brennan, the man who has been romancing her mother Carly. The revelation hits Jason like a physical blow as he realizes that while he was searching for Britt, Carly's daughter was risking her life on dangerous missions that nearly resulted in her death. The irony isn't lost on him. He saved one woman while being unaware that another woman he considers family was in mortal peril. The knowledge burns inside Jason as he struggles with the implications. Jocelyn's recruitment into the WSB wasn't a noble calling to serve her country. It was the result of Brennan's manipulation after she killed Cyrus Renault in self-defense. Brennan had covered up the incident and used it as leverage to force Jocelyn into the dangerous world of international espionage, all while pretending to care for her mother. The mission that nearly claimed a life. The details of Jocelyn's near-death experience weigh heavily on Jason's mind as he prepares to confront Carly with the truth. The young woman who has always been like family to him was sent on what was supposed to be a simple reconnaissance mission to the Five Poppies resort. Instead, she found herself in a deadly situation where she was forced to kill an assassin to save her partner Vaughn's life. The psychological trauma of taking another life, even in self-defense, has left its mark on Jocelyn. The woman who once worried about college assignments and relationship drama has been thrust into a world where split-second decisions mean the difference between life and death. She has seen and done things that no young person should ever have to experience, all because Brennan saw an opportunity to exploit her vulnerable state after Dex's death. Jason's protective instincts rage as he thinks about how Brennan manipulated the situation. The WSB section chief had taken advantage of Jocelyn's grief and desire for justice, turning her into a weapon while keeping her mother completely in the dark about the dangers she faced daily. Carly's world about to shatter. The conversation that Jason dreads having with Carly looms ahead of him like a storm cloud. He knows that once he reveals the truth about Jocelyn's secret life as a WSB agent, Carly's relationship with Brennan will never be the same. The woman who has trusted Brennan implicitly, who has defended him against warnings from friends and family, is about to discover that he has been using her daughter as a pawn in his dangerous games. Jason understands Carly better than almost anyone, and he knows that her reaction will be explosive. The mother who has always been fiercely protective of her children will be devastated to learn that While she was falling in love with Brennan, he was putting Jocelyn's life at risk. The betrayal cuts deeper than just lying. It strikes at the very core of what Carly values most: her family's safety. The timing of this revelation, coming so soon after Britt's return and the upheaval it has caused, will push Carly to her breaking point. She has already been dealing with the stress of Drew's shooting and the investigation that followed, and now she must confront the fact that the man she trusted with her heart has been systematically deceiving her about her daughter's welfare. The confrontation that changes everything. When Jason finally finds the courage to tell Carly the truth, her reaction exceeds even his worst expectations. The woman who has survived countless betrayals and heartbreaks finds herself facing perhaps the most insidious deception yet. Brennan didn't just lie to her, he used her love for him as a shield. While he put her daughter in mortal danger, Carly's rage is not just about the deception, but about the fundamental violation of trust that Brennan's actions represent. She had opened her heart to him, believing that he was someone who cared about her family's well-being. Instead, she discovers that he has been treating Jocelyn like an expendable asset, someone whose life could be risked for the greater good of his missions. The mother who once threatened Drew Kane's life for far less significant transgressions now faces the reality that her current boyfriend has been playing Russian roulette with her daughter's existence. Every tender moment they shared, every promise he made about their future together, is now tainted by the knowledge that he was capable of such calculated manipulation. Brennan faces his reckoning when Carly storms into Brennan's office. Her fury is a force of nature that even his WSB training couldn't have prepared him for. The man who has faced international terrorists and survived deadly missions finds himself completely unprepared for the wrath of a mother who has discovered that her child has been used as a weapon. Carly's confrontation is not a gentle request for explanation, it's a demand for absolute truth. She wants to know every detail of how Brennan recruited Jocelyn, every mission she was sent on, every moment her life was in danger while Carly remained blissfully unaware. The questions come like bullets, each one designed to strip away another layer of Brennan's carefully constructed justifications. Brennan's attempts to minimize the danger, to frame Jocelyn's recruitment as an opportunity rather than exploitation, fall flat in the face of Carly's rage. She can see through his professional detachment to the cold calculation that allowed him to use her daughter while maintaining the pretense of caring for their family. The man she thought she loved reveals himself to be someone capable of compartmentalizing his personal and professional lives in ways that she finds morally reprehensible. The truth finally emerges. Under the relentless pressure of Carly's interrogation, Brennan's defenses finally crumble. The truth comes pouring out in a torrent of admissions that paint a picture of systematic manipulation and calculated risk-taking with Jocelyn's life. He admits to covering up Cyrus's death, to using it as leverage to recruit Jocelyn, and to sending her on missions that he knew carried significant risks. Each revelation hits Carly like a physical blow as she realizes the extent of Brennan's deception. The man she was falling in love with has been playing a long game, using their relationship as cover while he turned her daughter into an international spy. The missions that nearly cost Jocelyn her life were not aberrations. They were exactly the kind of assignments that Brennan knew would be dangerous when he recruited her. The professional justifications that Brennan offers that Jocelyn showed natural talent, that she was already involved in dangerous situations, that the training made her safer sound hollow and self-serving in the face of Carly's maternal anguish. She doesn't care about the greater good or national security. When weighed against her daughter's life and psychological well-being, the relationship's final chapter, as the full scope of Brennan's betrayal becomes clear, Carly realizes that their relationship cannot survive this revelation. The foundation of trust that any romantic partnership requires has been not just damaged, but completely destroyed. How can she ever believe anything he says again, knowing that he has been capable of such elaborate deception? The future they had tentatively planned together crumbles as Carly understands that Brennan's loyalty will always be to his agency first, to his missions above all else. She cannot share her life with someone who views her family as potential assets to be deployed, rather than loved ones to be protected. The man she thought understood her values has revealed himself to be someone whose priorities are fundamentally incompatible with hers. The breakup, when it comes, is not a gentle parting of ways but a violent severing of connections. Carly's final words to Brennan are not expressions of sadness or regret, but promises that he will face consequences for what he has done to her daughter. The protective mother who emerged during this confrontation makes it clear that Brennan's professional and personal worlds are about to collide in ways he never anticipated. The aftermath of these revelations will reverberate through Port Charles for weeks to come, as the truth about Jocelyn's secret life becomes known and the community grapples with the implications of Brennan's manipulation. The relationships that seemed strongest between Carly and Brennan, between Jason and his protective instincts, between parents and the children they thought they understood, all face fundamental challenges that will reshape the dynamics of Port Charles forever. Next, we will dive into the intriguing possibility of Nina Reeves finding a surprising new romantic interest that could shake up the dynamics in Port Charles. In the ever-twisting world of General Hospital, recent developments are pointing toward an unexpected alliance that might evolve into something much more personal for Nina Reeves. Fans have been buzzing about the subtle hints dropped in the latest episodes, suggesting that Jack Brennan, the enigmatic WSB operative with a knack for intrigue, could be stepping into Nina's life in a way that goes beyond mere business. This potential pairing isn't just a random plot twist. It's built on layers of tension, hidden agendas, and the kind of chemistry that soap operas thrive on. Imagine Nina, fresh from her complicated history of heartbreaks and betrayals, crossing paths with a man like Brennan, whose mysterious background includes high-stakes espionage and a trail of secrets that could rival her own turbulent past. The show's writers seem to be planting seeds for this development, drawing on Nina's vulnerability after her fallout with Sonny Corinthos, and her ongoing struggles with family ties, adding to the excitement. Brennan's suave demeanor and calculated charm make him a perfect foil for Nina's fiery personality, potentially leading to fireworks that could redefine alliances in Port Charles. As viewers, we're left wondering if this is the start of a passionate romance or just another strategic move in the grand chess game of GH storylines. Delving deeper into the pivotal scene from the September 10th episode, Brennan's decision to summon Nina wasn't just a casual meeting, it felt like a calculated power play, designed to pull strings across multiple families. Picture this: Nina arrives, her sharp wit on full display as she quips about Brennan aligning with Carly Spencer's most notorious rival, perhaps alluding to the long-standing feud that has defined so much of Nina's arc. But Brennan, ever the unflappable agent, brushes off the sarcasm with a cool confidence that hints at his deeper game plan. He dives straight into his proposal, urging Nina to intervene with Lulu Spencer to facilitate a heartfelt visit between Charlotte Casadini and her father, Valentin Casadini, who's been on the run amid his own web of deceptions. This isn't merely about family reunions. It's a nod to the Casadini legacy of intrigue, where loyalties are tested and old wounds resurface. Brennan's pitch carries an undercurrent of urgency, as if he senses the ticking clock on Valentin's freedom, and by involving Nina, he's tapping into her maternal instincts and her complicated history with the Casadinis. To sweeten the deal, Brennan dangles a tantalizing offer in return, one that could shield Nina from the fallout of brewing scandals. This exchange isn't just dialogue, it's a masterclass in manipulation, with Brennan's piercing gaze and Nina's guarded expressions adding unspoken layers of tension that keep audiences hooked. As the conversation unfolds, Brennan shifts gears to reference the ongoing investigation into Drew Kane, a scandal that's been simmering like a pot ready to boil over. He implies that both Nina and Willow Tate might soon find themselves in dire need of the WSB's formidable resources, perhaps to navigate legal entanglements or uncover hidden truths that could upend their lives. This moment feels like foundational groundwork, not just for plot progression but for character growth. Nina, who's no stranger to corporate battles and personal vendettas from her days at Crimson Magazine, listens intently, her mind racing with the implications, inventing a fresh angle. One could speculate that Brennan's intel on Drew includes classified details about his time in Pentonville or shadowy business dealings that tie back to the Quartermaines, adding a new dimension of corporate espionage to the mix. By offering his assistance, Brennan positions himself as a potential savior, which could forge a bond built on mutual benefit. For Willow, who's been grappling with her own identity crises and health battles, this help might mean protection from revelations about her biological ties or medical history that Drew's investigation could expose. The writers are cleverly weaving these threads, creating a tapestry where alliances form out of necessity, and what starts as a transaction could blossom into something far more intimate. Looking ahead, if Nina delivers on her end of the bargain by smoothing things over with Lulu, Brennan is likely to reciprocate in a big way, perhaps pulling strings to extricate her and Willow from a precarious situation. Envision a high-drama scenario where evidence surfaces linking them to a cover-up, or financial irregularity tied to Drew's ambitions. threatening prison time or public disgrace. Just as the walls close in, Brennan swoops in with WSB leverage, made falsified documents, witness retractions, or international pull to make the charges vanish. This act of intervention wouldn't just be heroic, it could ignite gratitude in Nina, drawing her closer to Brennan in ways she never anticipated, adding inventive flair. Perhaps this rescue involves a clandestine meeting in a dimly lit warehouse on the outskirts of Port Charles, where Brennan reveals a personal stake in the matter, like a past encounter with Drew that fuels his vendetta. Such closeness might spark late-night confessions, shared secrets about their respective losses, Nina's grief over her coma-induced years, and Brennan's regrets from his covert operations. The emotional depth here could transform their partnership from professional to profoundly personal, with Nina seeing in Brennan a kindred spirit who's as adept at survival as she is. However, Brennan's current romantic entanglement with Carly Spencer casts a shadow over any budding connectee. On with Nina, and it's clear this relationship is on borrowed time. The fatal flaw lies in Brennan's reckless choice to recruit Jocelyn Jacks for a perilous WSB mission in Croatia, a decision that nearly cost Joss her life amid gunfire and double crosses. Once Carly discovers this betrayal, perhaps through a leaked report, or Joss's own confession, the fallout will be explosive, echoing Carly's protective maternal instincts that have defined her character for decades. The clock is indeed ticking, as whispers of this incident spread through Port Charles, building toward an inevitable confrontation. Brennan, with his polished exterior hiding a core of ambition, will face rejection, leaving him emotionally adrift, inventing a new element. Maybe Carly's breakup includes a heated scene at the Metro Court, where accusations fly and old rivalries with Nina resurface, inadvertently pushing Brennan toward her orbit. This doomed romance serves as a narrative pivot, clearing the path for fresh pairings while highlighting themes of trust and consequence in the GH universe. With Brennan poised for heartbreak, the stage is set for him to seek solace in a new love interest, and Nina emerges as an ideal candidate, single, resilient, and ready for reinvention after her string of failed relationships. Her history with men like Sonny and Valentine shows a pattern of intense, often chaotic passions, making Brennan's stable yet dangerous allure a refreshing change. The show might be subtly assembling the puzzle pieces for their story, starting with flirtatious banter that escalates into meaningful support. Could this lead to a full-fledged love affair? Or perhaps a steamy fling that provides comfort amid the chaos? Adding creative details, envision shared evenings at Nina's penthouse, discussing WSB escapades over wine, where Brennan opens up about his Australian roots and Nina shares anecdotes from her fashion empire days. This connection could complicate existing feuds, especially given Nina's tendency to gravitate toward Carly's castoffs, a habit that sparked iconic rivalries in the past. From her involvement with Sonny to other entanglements, Nina's choices often stir the pot, and pursuing Brennan would be no exception, potentially reigniting her clash with Carly in spectacular fashion. As General Hospital spoilers continue to unfold, the evolving bond between Brennan and Nina promises layers of complexity in the months ahead. Will their deal blossom into romance, or will hidden motives derail it? Fans are eager for updates, speculating on how this pairing might intersect with larger arcs involving the Spencers, Casadinis, and Quartermains. One thing's certain, in Port Charles, where secrets never stay buried, this development could lead to shocking revelations, heartfelt moments, and the kind of drama that keeps us tuning in. Stay tuned to our channel for more insights and breakdowns as the story progresses. What do you think will happen next? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.